Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, What the Beck. It is no secret that I like rainbows and colors and all of them at the same time. So when I was asked to be the spotlight coordinator for the production this summer in my local theater, I said, oh yeah. And every day I have been wearing my rainbow stuff. And somehow I've been running out of rainbow stuff to wear. Like, it's all in the laundry and I'm like, I need more. So I have this sheet that I thrifted. This was originally from a Trolls World Tour bed sheet set for like children, but like children get all the fun stuff. So it's time to turn it into something for me, and I'm gonna make my own Technicolor Dreamcoat. So let's go. Okay, so I'm already having design fatigue where I'm like, oh, I could totally use all of it and like it will be fine. The only problem is I don't know if I want them to be vertical or horizontal stripes, because in the show they are vertical, but on the design of this fabric, which has hearts on it, they're horizontal. And I don't know, I keep telling myself, oh, I want them to be upright, I don't mind if they're not upright. They're giving me a pain in the butt. I think for accuracy to the show, I'd like the stripes to be vertical, so I'm gonna have to get over the fact that there's hearts on it. So maybe the least I can do is have the stars right way up on the bottom of the fabric. But now I'm like, okay, so how do I make it so that it's like flowy and drapey like I want? And I'm wondering if I should... First of all, okay, I know that I need a belt, right? And that's gonna be a multicolor, just slice along the edge of the sheet. That's sorted. But after that, if I'm doing a vertical one, right, I have to cut out some space for sleeves, right, which I will then sew up. But then all this extra stuff on this side, I want to add to the flounce. So maybe I gather that part, and that would solve my issue with the things being too, how do I explain this? Usually for this type of thing, if you wanted it made out of rectangles but still flowy, you would add like little triangles of fabric. And I didn't want to do that because that's a pain in the butt, and I want this done tonight, baby. Actually in like 4 hours from now, but besides the point. If I cut the sleeve seam, or cut it here, sew the sleeve, and gather that up, then maybe I can get it to fit. And worst case scenario, I'll just cut like one of the repeats of stripes out to help it gather to the right size. Let's test that. So one good thing about using the side of the fabric as the opening for the sleeve here and doing a gathering is that I can straight up just cut this, open this part of the sleeve, but not the bottom, and that way I don't have to sew a seam up this side for the bottom ruffle part. I will have to do that for the other side because it's open, but yeah, I'm gonna start by cutting out my belt piece. And I'm gonna use the part with the trolls in it because that way when I turn it inside out, I don't have to seam rib that part.
Billy, just
Belt.
told you stuff like this. I know, Sam. I can't believe you know that.
You looking? How am I
How
doing?
can you keep me in the dark about something so huge?
Because I knew you couldn't handle it.
signed up for. Last I checked, we don't give up on family. Jack's not family.
Oh, yes, he is. He's your son. Girl, I'm about to slap Dean.
Kid, babe, I care for him too. I do. But he's not like you. He's not like Cass. He's just not.
Just because he had less time.
I'm ready.
Okay, I opened the sleeve. This part needs to be gathered. Should I just cut it and sew it like that? Nah. Oh, they're researching together. Now I'm like, am I tall enough to wear this? Cause like, you gonna have to be tall.
Hey, sis.
Amara.
Check out my light show the other night? It's pretty rad, huh?
You've been ending worlds.
Alright, so I have cut my big scary seam. I made sure to measure the middle so that I can fit my body in it. I'm gonna cut the center seam later because I might be able to finagle something with that. But basically we have here Teddy again inspecting. Two sides, yeah. Okay, so this is where the top will be. I might make the collar a little bit better shaped, but overall it is gonna be this as the sleeve part. Here, let me move your view. All right, so here's our sleeve area. Oh, it already looks so cool. Okay, wait. So sleeves are gonna be up here. They're gonna be very loose. This stuff, I was thinking of gathering it up and putting it there. And then it looks like I'm gonna have this. We'll see what happens with that, but I'm gonna just do some preliminary hand gathering, like basting. And I also need to sew up the side of this. So I need to turn this inside out. And we'll go back to speed mode for that. Okay, so I sewed the one side seam just to connect it. And I don't know if gathering is going to be the right option, but I think what I might want to do is some pleating. So I'll figure that out, I guess. Okay, yeah, I think the pleats are going to be a better option. I'm going to see if I can make them be the width of the stripes. But it's kind of more neat than the gather option. Okay, so because of how many folds there were, I couldn't have it all in one without it being a big mess. So I'm gonna sew them like this, and then when I go to sew the seam, I'm gonna fold it like that, and then I'll have like the seam for the sleeve, and then I'll go down a little. So now I just have to fold the other side and sew them. So now that that part is sewn, I'm going to just put it right sides together, like so. I just sewed it. So for this other one, because I cut the fabric open, I'm going to have to hem that, I guess. But I'm gonna do that next, because since I didn't cut my middle front opening yet, or a neckline, I basically can sew the bottom seam and then the hem, and then I'll sew the top together when I sew the neckline. but I realized that this part got sewn crooked, so I have to undo that. Okay, I fixed it. I'm just gonna catch up to the sleeve seam and then we will do that little screwy bit. Now I'm gonna hem the end of the sleeve, and I almost forgot the belt was downstairs, so I'm gonna actually do that first and then hem. I said I was gonna leave them in, but I feel like they're gonna bother me, so goodbye trolls tag. To do this sleeve hem, I'm just folding it over like 1/4 inch, and then I'm gonna sew it. Oh, actually I folded it about 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna sew it just before that little spot here. Let me show you. So I folded it that much, and you can't see. I'm going to be going in like right along here, so just enough to catch it. That's done. Okay, now I have to cut the front seam, but I'm gonna try it on as one big piece to see where that actually is. I almost didn't get my shoulders through it, but I did. So yeah, the hem is definitely gonna need to be brought up because I'm drowning in it. And I think the sleeves are good. Yeah. I think regardless of where the actual center is, I'm gonna just slice it right down the color change. And we have a little friend on the floor keeping me in place, so that's fun. We also have a little friend on the table, so it's a family project. This is funny, but I'm literally gonna just cut myself out of the thing because I don't think I can get it back over my arms on my own. Oh my goodness. So while it would have been nice to be able to use this pre-hemmed portion, I am simply not 7 feet tall. So I need to figure out how much it needs to be hemmed. And to do that, I'm going to need to sew at least a little bit of the sleeves, but not all of it. So I'll probably stop around this yellow stripe, and we'll see how much I need to hem it, and then after that we'll deal with the neckline and we'll do the final like hemming around the opening at the front, and then I'm gonna turn my belt inside out and we'll sew it to the back because I hate when you wash something and the pieces fall out of it and then they get separated. So we're gonna attach the belt.
Goofy wife.
I'm not goofy.
Eddie, you can't just lay on the floor all the time.
Yes, he can.
Lay at a high vantage point like other cats.
He's allowed to go wherever he wants.
He needs to lay up high so I don't step on him. If I don't, he blends in with the carpet, alright? Like that's
Actually, baby blends in with the carpet more, so check your privilege.
He's literally the same color as the carpet. The only thing that sticks out
In
is
here
his
he
eyes
is.
and his face.
I also did not backstitch that area in case I need to undo it a little bit. But now we can try it on. This is already so fantastical. So a lot of no-waist garments tend to be like, leave the collar square, but I don't like that. So I'm going to, you know, make it more rounded. And then that piece will get stuffed into an animal. Don't worry about it. But we're looking at the hem. I'm not tall enough to wear this. So let's see. I don't want it to be floor length necessarily. So let's see. If it was ankle length, it would be, oh, pretty conveniently right on this nice little fold. So let's go with that. I'm gonna put a pin in there so I don't forget when I take it off. But yeah, this is definitely a strutting coat, you know? The only thing with that fold is that it is on the wrong side of the fabric, and for a hem, you want to hem it so that the colorful part comes to the middle. So I guess I just get to follow that fold all the way around, and then y'all, I don't mind if it's not perfectly symmetrical or the perfect length all the way around. It's meant to be like a dramatic thing. It's not supposed to be like perfectly fitted and all that. So this is fine with me, and I'm just gonna pin it all, and then I'll sew it, and then I'll trim the rest. Here's another fun sewing tip. So I don't need it to be perfect, but I do want it to be like similar. So I'm gonna use a zipper as a ruler, and basically I've just took this zipper out of my stuff, and you can use anything really, but if it's as long as you want your fold to be, you can just measure with the zipper and then fold it and put a pin, and then you know it's at least mostly the right length. Somehow I didn't expect that seam to take so long, but that's how much extra I have, which honestly I might be able to use it to make a neckband. Let's do that. So I'm gonna cut it off, and I'm gonna use my pinking shears this time because I realized they're right next to me. I should have been using them the whole time, and if I want to put this in the fair, I'm probably gonna have to put it in as a costume, because even though I want to use it as like just a piece of my wardrobe, the sewing is not that great, so if I put it as a costume, they'll like give me more kudos for it. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this off, and then I think I'm gonna fold it and then sew it as the neckband, but I have to cut the neckline, right? So I'm gonna do that, but I first need to get this off of here. Pinking shears that my aunt gave me for Christmas. So actually, it's a good thing I got a little bit confused, because then I looked up like zero waist patterns from rectangles, or like low waist, because that's what they call this style of, like, you know, instead of just cutting a bunch off, you incorporate the entire piece of fabric into the garment. But if I hadn't done any research, I wouldn't have seen the design that showed a neckband, and I wouldn't have thought to do that. And I would have been like, oh, well, I just have this strip of stuff. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I can actually use the entire thing on this project if I ever finish cutting. Now, to make sure the neckline is even, I am going to pin it together and then cut it off. So basically the two front flaps, I'm just pinning them together, and I'm gonna like hold the whole little chunk together. I will cut this on the table because I need it to be round. I'm also gonna probably mark this one, but basically I'm just pinning them together flat so that whatever I draw on it will be on both sides. Also, I just grabbed this off the ground, and I think it's gonna be like exactly enough for a neckband. We shall see. There is this kind of like chunky bit, so I don't know about that, but we'll see what happens. Okay, well, I did have a dressmaker's ruler, but I don't know where it went. So I'm just gonna, you know, go for it. I am not that wide of a person, so... Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Haha. Here, watch this. Just going in from here, and about how much that was like hanging before, that's how much I'm taking off. And these scissors are not great for fabric. And then I'm gonna kind of taper it down. Yeah. So the only waste so far is these, which I can definitely just use in other, like, to stuff an animal, you know? Oh, are you Eepy? You're sleepy? You just got up. You can't be sleepy. So for this neckband thing, I'm thinking that maybe instead of doing it that thick and putting it on the neckband, because I think that might be a little bit too much. And also to avoid this big chunky section where I had to sew the two edges together, I might just use this long portion over here and not this bit, but like cut the fabric in half, and that way the neckband will be in half like that, which will actually be a similar width to the belt. So I just have to make sure that this goes to the floor when it's in half, and it does. So I'm sorry you can't see that, but I know it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this apart and then slice it in half, and then we will attach it to this. And then look, this is not going to be waste. I can probably turn this into a zipper bag for myself because I need more of those in my life. So no waste. Now to get this accurately cut in half, I'm going to fold it widthways, and that way I don't have to cut so much. And I might also just square it up with my quilting stuff, like my rotary cutter, because the edge that I cut with pinking shears is admittedly not very even. So see if it can handle that. And I'm on a cutting mat down here, so don't worry about the table getting damaged. It is not. And again, this will go into a plushie at some point. Now to get this perfectly in half, I'm actually thinking I'm gonna take off the edge over here just to make it easier to sew, because it is gonna end up being 3 layers, and with this much bulky stuff it would quickly become like 9 layers, and I don't want that. I should also mention, I'm not like aiming to be entirely zero waste and all that. I'm just trying to use the material I have to its fullest potential to get the effect that I want. And if this is how much cabbage I have left, I can make 1 plushie and put that in it. So that's dealt with. And then this could be a zipper bag. Ooh, it's gonna be so fun. Anyways, so let's measure this. This is a weird measurement. It's like 8.5-ish. So if we wanted it to be like 4.25-ish to equally cut it in half, that would be here and about there. I'm lining it up with the mat that's under it, by the way. I'm not just like guessing. So there's that, and then I need to sew these together because the seam is going to be the, what's it called? The back neckline area. And then I also have a fun chance where the colors will line up on either side. Actually, that's really exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna sew this along the short edge up here, and then we will come back and attach it to the actual garment. I almost forgot that because I did like a cautionary attachment of the top of the sleeve before, I need to actually sew that seam all the way over to where the neckline starts now that I've cut it. So I'm going to do that. To attach the neckband to this, we are going to need to fold it in half. So I'm finding my middle seam that's going to go right behind my neck, and I'm going to fold that so that it matches up with itself like so. I'm going to just slap a pin in that to make sure it stays together. And then you can like pin the whole thing like this and then attach it, but I am going to like pin it to the garment. I just want the middle part to be like perfectly folded so I don't have to worry about it. And then here to find the middle, I'm not gonna trust the colors. Actually, am I gonna trust the colors? Because the amount of pink next to the yellow here versus the amount of orange next to the orange over here, that doesn't really make sense. But I'm pretty sure that the middle stripe is the middle. Are you smacking me down there? Anyways, to make it attached so that it's like showing the side I want, so like it has the heart on it, but I don't know if I want that to show. So I'm gonna like line it up as if that was the inside and this is the inside of the jacket. So the middle of this, I'll put a pin just so you can see it a little easier. The middle would be between the green and blue, that's right there. And then the middle of this is this one. So I'm gonna attach it with the side I want to show attached to the right side of the jacket. Hello, baby. What you doing? You are right in the way. Do you see this cat? Baby.
Oh, I need to get off of here. Can you get off? Okay. Thank you.
Flop and ultimate destruction. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep folding this and lining it up with the other piece. And I'm gonna use a lot of pins because I want to make sure that it stays flat when I attach it. And that's about it. Just I'm making sure that all three edges are lined up, and when I get to the like curves on the front here, I'm just gonna do my best to line them up. Since I know the colors are the same on the other edge, I can like reference this to see like where they should be falling. So for example, this middle of the orange stripe falls right at the sleeve seam, so I can reference that on the other side. I'm gonna just keep attaching this and then I'll sew it on and we'll have the reveal. We're doing good. I think call time is in 2 hours, so I'll definitely be able to finish this up and throw it on and get my butt to the theater. Okay, so I've finished pinning down here, and obviously I have a lot of extra fabric, so I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to actually see where that needs to fold to match up to the other edge, and I'm going to hem that before I actually attach the neckband, I think, because that way it will be not a raw edge. And also when I attach the neckband, I can leave this open, basically. Like this little bit can stay open because it's not a raw edge. I don't really care. So I just need to do the other side and we'll see how it goes when I attach it. I didn't think this was a knitting project, but it turns out the best option I have to turn this inside out is a knitting needle. It's coming out the other end. I heard a tear, and I know you heard it too, so we'll see what happens. No! It ripped a hole. Oh well. Luckily, this is a very long piece, so I can probably just cut that off and like finish the edge. Oh, don't flip like that. It's like being a clown at the circus, just ripping it inside out. But yeah, so this purple edge here is fully finished, so it won't fray or anything. But this whole edge over here is a problem. Aw, that sucks. I guess the needle did that because it's sharp. I was using a Sharpie, but it wasn't long enough. So I'm gonna just cut the pink here, and actually that's okay because then the belt can both end on purple. So I'm cutting that piece off. Here's an idea. It's a little scarf for baby. Do you like your little scarf? She's like, what the hell? So I need to fold the edge over, hem it, and then I'm going to just stitch it onto the back, and it will stay in place. I don't really need the belt, I guess, to keep it on, but it's fashion. Now I am gonna see my mom today, and she doesn't like when things aren't pressed, so I'm going to press my seams for my mom because I love her, and I need to go through and trim all these extra bits too, but just make it look nice, or as nice as it's gonna look, because it is a bed sheet and I know that, but you know. You are silly, you are small, you are the cutest of them all. Don't tell that to your sister. I don't know what rhymes with sister. But you are the very cutest mister. So he's only a boy cat. Don't show us your butt. He is hungry, he wants food. He is in a hungry mood. We're here for the third show of Joseph, and my coat is finished. And it's very hot out here, so we're gonna go back inside. And this is also, G is helping run the lights with me. Goodbye. And of course I had to get some clips of me spinning around with the coat on, and I was also able to get a picture with Joseph from our production. And if you're in Howard County, please come see our show. We have a few left, and I hope to see you there. Bye.